Hi, I'm Joel Stepanek.
And I'm Leah Murphy. We work at Life Teen. Over the past couple weeks, you may have heard about a new Netflix original series called 13 Reasons Why. If you haven't watched the show or are unfamiliar with what goes on in the show, it tells the story of a young woman who takes her own life. She's a junior in high school, and she leaves behind some audio cassette tapes identifying the 13 reasons why she thought her life was not worth living. Each reason is a specific person and the actions that they committed to cause her to commit suicide. The show brings up a lot of important discussions, a lot of topics that we do need to be talking about. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't treat every topic the way it ought to be treated, especially the most important topic of suicide.
Suicide is a real issue. It's not a fictional plot device. 13 of every 100,000 people in the United States will take their own life by suicide, and that number is actually going up every single year. It's a serious problem, and it leaves behind a lot of pain and a lot of hurt. As a youth minister, I walked with different families and teenagers and even friends who had a loved one take their own life by suicide. One of the things that the show does get wrong is it never brings up the issue of mental illness. 90% of people who die by suicide have a diagnosed mental illness at the time that they do take their own life. And that's something that needs to be said, because it's not necessarily people or situations that push someone over the edge to commit suicide. It's an underlying mental illness that can and should be treated well so that people can get better. Suicide is a tragedy. It's just never a glorious thing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the show kind of romanticizes suicide. Hannah is depicted as this hero who ends her own life and leaves behind a lesson for those who she left behind. Unfortunately, suicide is always going to be hurtful and messy. It's going to hurt a lot of people. Most importantly, it's going to end the life of someone whose life was meant to keep going. If you're finding yourself watching this show and feeling attracted to this idea of leaving some kind of legacy behind by taking your own life, seek help. Your life is meaningful, you matter, and taking your life is not the option.
There are a lot of different ways that you can find help. There is no shame in seeking a counselor, a therapist, a doctor who can help you wrestle with some of these issues and get better. One of the tragedies of the show is the very last person who's kind of indicted by Hannah is her counselor, who doesn't give her good advice when she seeks him out and talks about some of her struggles. You are not going to receive that response if you go to a priest, a youth minister, a counselor at your school. So don't be afraid of that. There are people in your life who want to help you. So if you're feeling depressed, anxious, or you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, please find help. Your life matters, and really that's why we wanted to record this video about the show, to encourage you and let you know that you're not alone. There are a lot of people who struggle with this, and a lot of people who have found help to be happy, holy, and ultimately healthy individuals.
Yeah, and one thing that the show does get really right is it challenges us to look at those around us who we think may be struggling with suicidal thoughts. So if you find that there are any people in your life who you think might be struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, send this video their way. Encourage them to get help with the people that they're surrounded by, or if you need to, encourage them to call this suicide hotline here.
Your life matters, and the lives of those around you matter. Suicide leaves in it just a wake of tragedy and sadness, and we don't want your community to experience in that, and we want you to live the fullest life that Jesus promised. In John 10:10, he says, "I've come that they may have life and have it in abundance." You were made for that. You were made for something great. So know that we at Life Teen are praying for you as a movement, and that if there's anything we can do to serve you, your parish, please just let us know, and don't be afraid to reach out to those in your community to find help. You are absolutely worth it.